Who dare bring my daughter Colonut in a dirty cloth? Security! Throw this beggar out! Mrs. Nwosu spat at the man in worn clothes. The golden gates slammed shut. She had no idea she'd just rejected a billionaire. Have you ever watched someone judge a book by its cover and destroy their own family? This is one of those real-life stories where a $2.3 billion tech mogul tests his future wife's family by pretending to be poor. These African stories prove that touching stories of character reveal who people truly are. This life story will shatter you. 3 months earlier, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, emergency ward. Chike Okonkwo carried his unconscious driver through automatic doors. Blood soaked Tunde's shirt. A motorcycle accident. 10 minutes from death, Dr. Amara Nwosu appeared in green scrubs. She didn't ask about insurance. She didn't check his clothes. She looked at Tunde's face and saw a human being. Get him to trauma 2. Start 2 large-bore IVs. Type and cross for 6 units. Her hands moved fast. Her voice stayed calm. Chike watched her work for 3 hours. She stayed past her shift. She held Tunde's hand during the painful procedures. When the surgery succeeded, she smiled at Chike like he was family. Your driver will recover fully. He's blessed to have an employer who cares enough to rush him here. Chike studied her eyes. No calculation. No judgment. Just genuine compassion. Most doctors wouldn't give this much attention to someone who can't pay extra, he said quietly. Amara's smile faded. Every life has equal value. That's what medicine taught me. Money doesn't determine worth. Those words changed everything. 6 weeks of deliberate simplicity followed. Chike drove his oldest Toyota to their dates. He wore shirts from Balagan Market. They ate suya from street vendors and walked barefoot on Elegushi Beach at sunset. Amara introduced him to nursing colleagues as my friend Chike, a mechanic. She never asked about his finances. She split bills without hesitation. On their 4th date, she bought him a gold bracelet her grandmother had left her. This is for someone who values character, she whispered. 2 months in, she brought him home. My mother can be difficult, Amara warned outside the Golden Gates. She's obsessed with status since my father died 7 years ago. She grew up poor in Ajagunle. Now she's terrified of poverty like it's a disease. Chike heard alarm bells. His mother's face flashed in his mind. Grace Okonkwo, brilliant teacher, fell in love with a poor man. Her wealthy family rejected her, threw her into the streets pregnant. She died at 43 from treatable malaria because they couldn't afford quality hospital care. Chike was 17. He built Afritech Solutions from nothing, every line of code written in her memory. The $2.3 billion fortune meant nothing compared to the lesson her death taught him. Never let wealth define humanity. Standing outside the Nwosu estate, Chike made his decision. I need to test them, he told Amara. If they accept me as I appear, modest, simple, then I know their hearts are pure. If they reject me, I know what they truly value. Amara's eyes filled with tears. And if they fail, then we fight for love anyway. But I need to know who they are first. The traditional Igbo knock-door ceremony arrived 3 weeks later. This was formal engagement protocol. The groom's family requests the bride's hand with gifts, following customs hundreds of years old. Chike brought 3 humble friends from Surulere. No Mercedes convoy. No designer Asoebi uniforms. Just 4 men in clean but worn clothes arriving in his dusty Toyota. He carried traditional items wrapped in his white handkerchief. Kola nut, alligator pepper, a bottle of palm wine. Total value N15,000. Deliberately modest but culturally appropriate. Mrs. Adaize Nwosu stood at the gate like a queen guarding her castle. 8 family members flanked her. She wore gold brocade worth N300,000. Her eyes assessed Chike's clothes in 3 seconds. The gate stayed locked. Traditional protocol demanded she welcome them inside. Offer seats, present Kolonat. This was Igbo custom, sacred hospitality rules dating back centuries. Mrs. Nwosu broke every rule. Is this what you bring to claim a doctor? Her voice carried across the compound. Neighbors appeared at windows. My daughter graduated from University of Ibadan. She speaks 3 languages. She saves lives daily. And you arrive like a bus conductor? Chike's friend stepped forward with the gifts. Mrs. Nwosu waved him away like shooing flies. N15,000 in Kolonat? She laughed bitterly. Do you know what a bride price should be? My daughter is worth at least N5 million. Yet you insult us with pocket change? Emeka, Amara's older brother, leaned against his Range Rover smoking. Sister, is this the best you could find? A mechanic who can't even afford decent shoes? Inside the compound, Amara pushed against two aunties holding her back. Mama, this is wrong. You're breaking tradition. Mrs. Nwosu's hand shot out. The slap echoed. Quiet. I know what's best. I won't watch you throw away your future on poverty. I suffered that life once. Never again. Chike remained calm. His voice stayed level. Ma, I have enough to care for your daughter. Love doesn't show on bank statements. It shows in how a man treats his wife when no one is watching. Love? Mrs. Nwosu's laugh turned cruel. Love pays no bills. Love feeds no children. You have 6 months to prove you can provide, or I'll find Amara a real man, one who owns buildings, not rents tool sheds. She snatched the white handkerchief from his friend's hands. The colonut scattered across the driveway. She threw the cloth into the muddy gutter running beside the gate. 20 extended family members watched in silence. Some looked away. Others pulled out phones recording. The white fabric lay in brown water, soaking up filth. Chike walked slowly to the gutter. He knelt in his worn trousers. He picked up the handkerchief carefully, like lifting a baby bird. He wiped it against his shirt, cleaning the mud as best he could. I respect your test, Ma. He folded the cloth, placed it over his heart. In 6 months, you'll see the truth. Not just about my wealth, about what truly matters. He pressed his palm to the locked gate in a gesture of blessing. Then he walked to his car. Mrs. Nwosu spat on the ground where he'd stood. The gates closed. Inside, Amara collapsed, sobbing. Mrs. Nwosu's decree was absolute: no contact with Chika. Phone monitored. Computer access restricted. Bedroom door locked at night. Within hours, gossip spread through Victoria Island like wildfire. Emeka posted on Instagram. When mechanics try to marry doctors, know your level. By evening, Mrs. Nwosu's church group knew. By midnight, 3 nearby parishes heard the story. That Nwosu girl almost ruined her life with a gold digger. Thank God her mother has sense. Chiki sat alone in his real penthouse that night. The white handkerchief lay on his dining table. He scrubbed it by hand under warm water. Brown stains slowly faded. His mother's photo watched from the mantel. Grace Okonkwo's gentle eyes. She rejected you the same way, Mama, he whispered. They saw your poor teacher boyfriend and threw you away like garbage. You died alone because wealth mattered more than love. His hands shook. 15 years of grief flooded back. But I'm not powerless like he was. I have the resources to teach this lesson properly. Mrs. Nwosu will learn what her pride costs, and she'll learn it in front of everyone who matters. He dried the handkerchief carefully. Still stained, but cleaner. He hung it by his window to dry under the stars. 6 months. The clock started ticking. But what Mrs. Nwosu didn't know was that her cruelty had awakened something dangerous in the man she rejected. A plan that would expose everything. And when the truth emerged, it would shatter her world before 500 witnesses. Week 1. Mrs. Nwosu weaponized her social network like a military campaign. The Lagos Island Women's League received a carefully edited story over champagne at her Sunday brunch. The church board heard a tearful confession during prayer meeting. Country club members got the Instagram version, Emeka's post with sneering caption. Poor mechanic tried to scam my sister. Know your level. The post went viral in their circles. 300 shares, 500 comments. Most believed her. At the hospital, Amara's colleagues whispered. Dr. Adebayo, the chief resident, pulled her aside. Your mother called. Said you're in trouble. Is this man forcing you into something? No, sir. She's lying. Be careful, Amara. Gold diggers target female doctors. We've seen it before. The humiliation spread like oil on water. Every shift became torture. Every glance held judgment. Week 2. Emeka visited the auto repair shop on a Tuesday afternoon. Chaki was under a Honda Civic replacing brake pads. His real business, the billion-dollar tech empire, operated from Victoria Island Towers 3 miles away. But here he played his role perfectly. Emeka parked his Range Rover sideways, blocking 2 customer cars. So this is where mechanics work. He lit a cigarette, flicked ash on the concrete floor. My sister deserves a man who owns the building. You rent a toolkit. Chiki slid out from under the car. Grease stained his hands. He stood slowly, calmly. Brother Emeka, welcome. Can I help you? Help me. Emeka laughed. He walked to the tool bench, picked up a wrench, dropped it. It clanged on the floor. Oops. Then he moved to the customer cars. Spilled motor oil on a white Camry's hood. Kicked over a paint bucket near a repaired bumper. Orange paint splattered across 3 vehicles. The shop owner rushed out. What are you doing? That's $180,000 in damage. Emeka threw $50,000 in crumpled bills on the ground. Accidents happen. Sue me, he left. Cheeky could have stopped him. One phone call to his legal team would have Emeka arrested within the hour. But he knelt, picked up the money, handed it to the shop owner. I'll cover the rest, boss. Don't worry. That night he transferred $130,000 from his personal account. The shop owner never knew Cheeky owned the entire auto mall. 12 shops, 47 employees. Annual revenue $2.3 billion, week 3. The area boys came at midnight. 3 young men with machetes and bottles. They smashed the shop windows, destroyed diagnostic equipment, spray-painted the walls. Poor man leave doctor alone. Neighbors called police. Officers arrived 20 minutes later, suspiciously slow. The lead officer knew Emeka had paid $50,000 for this exact delay. You're causing trouble in this neighborhood, the officer told Cheeky. Disturbing the peace. We need to take you to the station. Chike's driver, Tunde, the man Amara had saved 3 months ago, whispered urgently. Boss, call your lawyer. This is a legal arrest. Cheeky shook his head slightly. It's okay, Tunde. He paid $30,000 settlement fee at the station. Walked out at 3 a.m. The test continued. Inside the Nwosu compound, Amara lived in a prison painted gold. Her bedroom door locked from outside every night. Her phone monitored. Mrs. Nwosu read every text, every email. Computer access blocked except for medical research under supervision. The parade of suitable suitors began in week 4. First, Barrister Okonkwo, 46, 3 failed marriages. Breath smelling of whiskey at 11 a.m. He discussed Amara's bride value while she sat silent, treated like livestock at auction. How much did your education cost? I'll need to recoup that investment through household efficiency. Amara walked out. Mrs. Nwosu slapped her again. You will sit. You will smile. You will cooperate. Second, Chief Okafor, 45, construction mogul. Arrived in a gold Lexus SUV, wore traditional agbada worth $400,000. Brought gifts, $200,000 cash in a box. Gold jewelry set for Mrs. Nwosu. Now this is a real man. Mrs. Nwosu glowed. Chief Okafor barely glanced at Amara during the 2-hour visit. He spent the time on his phone discussing a government contract. When he did address her, his words were chilling. You'll be my 3rd wife. Good for my political ambitions. You'll have the east wing of my Abuja house. I'm not a wing, Amara said quietly. I'm a woman. Chief Okafor laughed. Same thing in my world. Mrs. Nwosu overheard but said nothing. Power and money trumped her daughter's dignity. That night, Amara lost 8 pounds from stress. She stopped eating. Her younger sister Ngozi, 16 years old, snuck food into her room. I hate what Mama is doing, Ngozi whispered through the door. This is wrong. Can you get a message to Chike? I'll try. Week 6. Elder Ease appeared at the repair shop unannounced. 72 years old. White hair, traditional wrapper and walking stick. He carried bitter leaf soup in a clay pot still warm. Your mother would want you fed, he said simply. Chike stared. You knew my mother? Grace Okonkwo. Before she died, I visited her in that one-room apartment in Ajagunle. She told me about her son who would change Nigeria. Elder Ease sat on an overturned crate. She died proud. Poor but proud. They ate together in silence. Then the elder spoke truths. Mrs. Adaiza Nwosu. I've known her since she was a girl selling oranges in Ajagunle market. Barefoot. Hungry. Her mother was my neighbor. He broke kola nut. Traditional gesture of blessing. When she married Amara's father, his family rejected her. Exactly like what's happening to you now. Cheek set down his bowl. Then why is she doing this to someone else? Fear makes people cruel. She became obsessed with status after her husband died 7 years ago. As if money could erase her past shame. Elder Ease tapped his walking stick on the ground. She sees you and remembers the poor girl she used to be. It terrifies her. That doesn't excuse her cruelty. No, but it explains it. An explanation helps you choose wisdom over anger. Elder Ease leaned forward. She's planning her annual charity fundraiser. 3 months from now. Hearts for Orphans Gala. 500 guests from Lagos Elite. Chike's eyes sharpened. I know about it. She raises money every year. This year she's planning something else. She'll announce Amara's engagement to Chief Okafor. In front of everyone. Make it impossible for Amara to refuse. A public trap. Yes, but also a public stage. Elder Ease smiled knowingly. Your mother taught me a proverb. The eagle doesn't announce its arrival. Its shadow speaks first. You understand? Cheeky nodded slowly. Wait until the moment of maximum impact. Exactly. Let them walk deeper into their own trap. Then reveal the truth where it cannot be denied or hidden. The elder stood to leave. He placed his hand on Cheeky's shoulder. Patience is the key to paradise. Your mother said that before she died. She'd be proud of the man you've become. After Elder Ease left, Chike sat alone as sunset painted the sky orange. He pulled out the white handkerchief, cleaner now but still slightly stained. He rubbed it between his fingers. 3 more months. 90 days. The fundraiser would be the stage. 500 witnesses. Mrs. Nwosu's moment of triumph would become her moment of revelation. Chike refused to break. While Mrs. Nwosu thought she'd won, he moved pieces on a chessboard she couldn't see. He continued working at the shop, the perfect disguise. His real executives managed Afritech solutions from headquarters. Board meetings happened via secure video calls from Tunde's apartment. Anonymous acts multiplied. Food parcels appeared at the Nwosu gate every week. No note, no signature. Mrs. Nwosu assumed they came from church charity. She never knew she was eating meals paid for by the man she'd humiliated. Biblical echo without sermon. Feed your enemy. But Cheeky's motivation was strategy, not piety. He visited his mother's grave in Ikorodu every Sunday. 40 minutes by public transport. He cleaned the headstone, placed fresh flowers, whispered updates. Mama, help me be wiser than my anger. Help me remember why I'm doing this. Grace Okonkwo's photo smiled back. The resemblance between mother and son was striking. Same determined eyes, same quiet strength. Small strategic moves accumulated like compound interest. Cheek's assistant, a former MIT classmate named Yemi, began discreet background research on Chief Okafor. 2 weeks of investigation revealed a pattern. Chief Okafor had 3 separate families across Lagos. Family 1, Ikoyi, wife Blessing Adiola, 2 sons ages 8 and 6. Child support Naro paid in 3 years. Family 2, Lekki, wife Kioma Ease, 3 daughters, ages 10, 7, 4. Child support N0 paid in 2 years. Family 3, Surulere, wife Ngozi Okoro, 2 children. Child support N0 paid in 4 years. Total children abandoned 7. Total child support owed. N12 million. Yemi compiled bank statements showing Chief Okafor spent N8 million on a new Range Rover the same month he defaulted on court-ordered child support. Court documents showed 3 separate lawsuits pending. Want me to leak this to the press? Yemi asked over encrypted phone call. No, not yet. Let him walk into the trap himself. We reveal everything at the gala. Maximum impact. Chike stored the evidence on a USB drive. Waited. He polished the white handkerchief one more time that night. 54 days remained until the fundraiser. 54 days until truth and lies collided in front of 500 witnesses. He folded the cloth carefully, placed it in his drawer. In 54 days, this handkerchief will be spotless again, and so will the truth. If this story is hitting you deep, if you've ever been underestimated or humiliated, drop a heart in the comments. You're not alone. This journey gets more intense. 8 weeks before the gala, Mrs. Nwosu's annual Hearts for Orphans fundraiser entered high gear. This was her social Olympics, the event that defined her status in Lagos elite circles. Budget N8 million, more than she'd donate to actual orphans. She hired celebrity host AY, the comedian everyone loved, booked the estate's grand lawn for 500 guests, ordered gold decorations, balloons, table runners, chair covers, everything gold. The irony escaped her completely. This year must be perfect, she told the event planner. I have special news to announce. The engagement. Amara to Chief Okafor, sealed in front of Lagos power players. Impossible to refuse. Fundraising goal N50 million. Last year she'd raised N32 million. This year needed to be bigger, Better. Proof of her importance. Invitation designer N 500,000. Caterer N 2.5 million. Security N 300,000. Live band N 1.2 million. Photographer and videographer $800,000. Total spent on displaying wealth. $80 million. Total money that could have gone directly to orphans. $1 million, but Mrs. Nwosu didn't see the contradiction. For her, the event was the charity. Appearance mattered more than impact. 6 weeks out, Amara stood in a boutique on Victoria Island, being measured for an engagement gown. White silk with gold beading. Cost N 1.2 million, more than most Nigerian families earned in 2 years. The designer pinned fabric around her waist. You must be so excited. Chief Okafor is a catch. Amara's reflection stared back from the mirror, hollow eyes. Weight loss visible in her collarbone. She'd stopped sleeping, stopped laughing, stopped being herself. Mrs. Nwosu sat in a velvet chair scrolling her phone. Stand straighter. You look like a beggar. Something inside Amara snapped. I am tired. Her voice came out louder than intended. Tired of this. Tired of you treating me like property. Mrs. Nwosu's head jerked up. Lower your voice. We're in public. I don't care. Amara pulled the pins from the dress, fabric falling. You married for money and lost love. Now you're forcing me down the same path. Don't you see what you've become? The slap came fast. Mrs. Nwosu's palm connected with Amara's cheek. The boutique went silent. Other customers pretended not to watch. Don't you dare disrespect your father's memory, Mrs. Nwosu hissed. Everything I do is to protect you from poverty. I suffered that life. I won't let you repeat my mistakes. Loving Chiki isn't a mistake. Tears streamed down Amara's face. He's the only man who saw me as a person. Not a trophy or investment. He's a mechanic. He'll make you suffer. You're already making me suffer. Mrs. Nwosu grabbed her purse, threw N50,000 at the designer. Finish the dress. Deliver it in 2 weeks. She pulled Amara toward the door. We're done here. In the car silence, Mrs. Nwosu drove with white knuckles. Amara stared out the window, watching Lagos blur past. Helagushi Beach, where she'd walked with Chike. Balogan Market, where they'd eaten suya. Every landmark a memory. She made a decision. That night, 3 a.m., Ngozi picked the bedroom lock with a hairpin, skill learned from YouTube videos. She texted Chiki from a burner phone bought with saved allowance. Now back window. Chike arrived in darkness. Climbed the compound wall, dropped silently into the garden. Security guard bribed with N20,000, looking the other way. He stood under Amara's window, through small pebbles. The window opened. Amara's face appeared, backlit by phone light. I can't do this anymore, she whispered down. Let's run tonight, Ghana, Kenya, anywhere. No, why not? I have my passport. We can leave before sunrise. Chike's voice stayed calm. Running proves her right. That I'm a man who steals in the night. That I'm not worthy. I don't care what she thinks anymore. I do. Because when this is over, you'll need to face her. And she needs to face what she's done. Running robs everyone of that truth, Amara sobbed quietly. I can't marry that man. I'd rather die. You won't marry him. Trust me, 54 more days. Why 54? What happens then? The gala. The truth. Everything changes. That's not an answer. Chiki pulled out his phone. Opened a photo. Held it up so she could see through the window. Even in darkness, the image was clear. Him in a tuxedo. Presidential Villa Abuja, shaking hands with Muhammadu Buhari. Name tag visible. Chiki Okonkwo, CEO Afritech Solutions. Behind him a banner. Africa's top 10 tech innovators under 40. Amara gasped. Who are you? I'm still the man who loves you. That hasn't changed. You're on Forbes. That's you? Yes, but why? Why didn't you tell me? Why let them humiliate you? Chiki's voice hardened with old pain. I needed to know you loved me for me. Not my bank account. Not what I could buy you. Just me. I do. I always have. I know. You passed the test, Amara. You're the only one who did. And my mother, my family, they failed spectacularly, but they need to learn why. In 54 days at the gala, the truth comes out. Your mother will understand what pride costs. In front of everyone who matters, 6 weeks before the gala. Fundraising committee meeting at the Nwosu estate. Mrs. Nwosu hosted 12 board members, serving champagne and small chops. The treasurer stood, read from a tablet. "We have exciting news. An anonymous donor has pledged 100 million to this year's fundraiser." The room erupted. Mrs. Nwosu spilled her champagne. "100 million. That's double our entire goal. The wire transfer came through this morning. Fully verified. No fraud." The treasurer showed bank confirmation. Mrs. Nwosu's hands shook as she held the document. 100,000 bucks transferred from AO Holdings Ltd to Hearts for Orphans Fund. Who is AO Holdings? Anonymous donor requested privacy, but they included a note. The treasurer handed over a cream cardstock note, handwritten in elegant script. From someone who understands what it means to be judged by appearance rather than heart. This gift honors mothers who suffered poverty and chose love anyway. In memory of Grace Okonkwo, signed, "A friend of Grace." Mrs. Nwosu read it 3 times. The name meant nothing. She'd never bothered learning Chiki's mother's name during the knock-door ceremony. That detail was beneath her notice. Grace? Do we know any wealthy Grace? Board members shook their heads. Amika, lounging nearby, dismissed it. Probably some oil mogul feeling guilty. Rich people love tax-deductible charity. Don't question it. But Mrs. Nwosu felt uneasy. Something in the phrasing, "judged by appearance." It echoed something recent. She couldn't place it. The donation changed everything. Lagos Society pages erupted. Hearts for Orphans trended on Twitter. International media noticed. Nigerian charity receives record-breaking anonymous donation. Guest list exploded from 300 to 500. Lagos governor confirmed attendance. Senator Akpabio requested invitation. Nollywood stars called, begging for seats. Mrs. Nwosu's status skyrocketed. This was her triumph, her vindication. Proof that she mattered. She never connected the dots to the man she'd thrown out 3 months earlier, 4 weeks before the gala. A Mercedes courier arrived at the Nwosu gate. Delivered a gold envelope. Thick, expensive paper. Embossed seal addressed to Mrs. Adaze Nwosu. She opened it in her parlor. Inside, a formal invitation to her own event. "Mr. Chike Okonkwo requests the honor of your presence at the Hearts for Orphans Gala." Mrs. Nwosu stared. Turned the card over. Official invitation design. The exact template only given to major donors who paid 500,000 or more. How did that mechanic get this? Amika snatched it, examined both sides. "It's fake, has to be. He probably photoshopped it to embarrass us. It looks real. The seal, the paper quality." Mama, relax. These invitations were printed for major donors only. Your committee controls the list. No way a broke mechanic got one legitimately. Mrs. Nwosu wanted to believe him, but doubt crept in. She checked the donor database. Searched Chike Okonkwo, nothing. She searched again. AO Holdings Limited, nothing. She dismissed her worry. Amika was right. Coincidence or forgery. But Ngozi, hiding on the stairs, saw everything. That evening she showed Amara the invitation. "He's toying with them," Ngozi whispered. "Cheek is playing a game Mama can't even see." That night Amara couldn't sleep. She snuck Ngozi's laptop. Searched Chike Okonkwo Lagos. Google results exploded. Chike Okonkwo, 37, named Africa's youngest tech billionaire by Forbes. Afritech Solutions surpasses $2.3 billion valuation. Nigerian entrepreneur meets President Buhari at Tech Summit. She clicked images. Photo after photo of Chike in power suits, boardrooms, international conferences, shaking hands with world leaders. The same man who'd carried Tunde bleeding into her hospital. The same man who'd walked barefoot with her on Elegushi Beach. The same man her mother threw out like garbage, a N2.3 billion fortune. Hidden behind worn clothes and an old Toyota, Amara's hands shook so hard she nearly dropped the laptop. She pulled out her hidden burner phone. Ngozi had gotten her one too, and called Chika. He answered on the first ring. 3:47 a.m. "I know," she whispered. "I know who you are. I saw everything online." Silence. "Then and? Why didn't you tell me? Would you have fallen for me if you knew? Or would you have wondered if I was just another rich man collecting a beautiful doctor, like a trophy?" Amara closed her eyes. She'd dated wealthy men before. All of them saw her as arm candy, status symbol, someone to display at parties while they talked business. Chike had seen her as a person first. "I fell for you because you carried Tunde like he was your brother, because you split Suya bills without ego." Because you listened when I talked about my patients. Your bank account had nothing to do with it. Exactly. You passed the test. You saw the man, not the money. Your mother failed. Your brother failed. Even your church community failed. Everyone judged the surface. What happens at the gala? Truth, all of it. Your mother will learn what her pride costs. In front of everyone. Will you humiliate her? No, I'll expose her. There's a difference. Humiliation is cruel. Exposure is educational. Amara looked out her locked bedroom window at Lagos sleeping. 54 days had become 28. 28 days until truth and lies collided. 28 days until 500 witnesses saw what money couldn't hide. Inside that gold envelope was more than an invitation. It was a countdown. A promise. A reckoning that would shatter everything Mrs. Nwosu had built on the backs of the people she despised. 3 weeks before the gala, Mrs. Nwosu drove her Mercedes G-Wagon to the auto repair shop. Mid-afternoon, 15 customers in the waiting area. Perfect audience for her performance. She stepped out wearing N200,000 in designer clothes, sunglasses, gold jewelry, everything calculated to emphasize the class gap. Still here, her voice carried across the shop. Still pretending you're good enough for my daughter? Chiki was changing attire. He stood slowly, wiping his hands on a rag, grease under his fingernails. Perfect disguise, Mrs. Nwosu. Good afternoon, Ma. She pulled N10,000 from her purse, threw the bills on the greasy floor. They fluttered, landed in oil puddles. Here, take this charity and disappear from our lives. Buy yourself some self-respect. Customers watched. Some recorded on phones. This would be on Instagram within the hour. Chaik bent down, picked up each bill carefully, cleaned the oil off with his rag, walked to her, hand extended with the money. Ma, I can't accept this, but I've learned something important these past 3 months. What's that? How to finally give up. No. I've learned that a man's wealth isn't always visible. Sometimes it's hidden to test who truly values him. In 3 weeks at your gala, you'll understand what I mean. Mrs. Nwosu laughed, cruel and sharp. Hidden wealth? You're delusional. Stay away from my family, or I'll have you arrested for harassment. She left, tires screeching. Customers murmured. One old woman approached Chika. Young man, why do you take that abuse? Because, Ma, patience is the key to paradise. And sometimes the lesson is worth more than pride. That afternoon, Emeka tried one final escalation. He filed a report with EFCC, Nigeria's anti-corruption commission, claiming Chiki had N500,000 in suspicious funds from the community school donation. The EFCC investigator called Chika. He provided full documentation, legal income, tax returns, philanthropic records, everything pristine, everything traceable to Afritech Solutions subsidiaries, though that connection remained hidden. Report dismissed within hours. Emeka's frustration grew. Why couldn't they destroy this man? 2 weeks before the gala, Chief Okafor arrived at the Nwosu estate with traditional ceremony. Full protocol this time. Mrs. Nwosu ensured everything Chike had failed to bring. 20 family members, 6 luxury cars, designer ASO EB uniforms in gold, traditional 100-item list presented in a leather briefcase. Total value, N8 million. Bride price, N5 million cash in a suitcase. Wine, N300,000 worth of premium champagne. Jewelry, M20.5 million gold set, livestock, certificate for a cow worth 400,000. Every traditional requirement met and exceeded. This was how a real man proposed. This was what Amara deserved. Chief Okafor sat in the parlor like a king granting favors. Mrs. Nwosu glowed. Her vindication was complete. He spoke directly to Mrs. Nwosu, barely acknowledging Amara sitting beside her mother. Your daughter will be my 3rd wife. Good for my political ambitions, running for House of Representatives next year. She'll have the east wing of my Abuja mansion. I've already renovated it. 3 bedrooms, private kitchen, 1 driver. Most generous. Mrs. Nwosu beamed. Amara's voice came out flat. I'm not a wing. I'm a woman. Chief Okafor turned to her for the first time, assessed her like livestock. Same thing in my world. You'll learn. Silence. Even Mrs. Nwosu looked uncomfortable for 3 seconds. Then she recovered, laughed nervously. She's just shy. She'll adapt. Amara, go try on your engagement dress. Show Chief Okafor. Amara didn't move. Mrs. Nwosu's hand twitched. The threat of another slap hung in the air. Amara stood slowly. Walked out. Upstairs, locked herself in the bathroom, vomited from stress and rage. Downstairs, the negotiation continued without the bride present. Because in Mrs. Nwosu's world, women were props in transactions between powerful people. 1 week before the gala, the N1.2 million gold-beaded engagement gown arrived. Mrs. Nwosu forced Amara into a fitting. Called a professional photographer. We're announcing early. Build excitement. Photos taken. Amara in the gown, forced smile, dead eyes. Mrs. Nwosu and Chief Okafor flanking her like prison guards. Instagram post went live. Proud mother moment. My daughter, Dr. Amara Nwosu, engaged to Chief Okafor, CEO Okafor Construction. Wedding next year. 300 likes within an hour. Comments flooded. Congratulations. She's so lucky. Beautiful couple. But also anonymous commenter. Wasn't she dating someone else? Another Chief Okafor? Doesn't he have baby mama drama? Mrs. Nwosu deleted negative comments. Blocked the users. Controlled the narrative. This was her story. No room for truth. Lagos Society pages picked it up. Dr. Amara Nwosu to wed construction mogul. Chief Okafor engagement to be. Announced at Hearts for Orphans Gala this Saturday. The trap was set. Public, undeniable, no escape. But 16-year-old Ngozi refused to stay silent. She'd watched her sister dissolve over 3 months. Watched her mother become a monster. Someone had to stop this. She did what her generation did best, investigated online Facebook search, Chief Okafor children. 3 women's profiles appeared. Blessing Adeola. Ikoyi. Profile photos showed 2 boys ages 8 and 6. Caption from 2023. Still waiting for child support. 3 years. NSO received Kioma Ezi Leki. 3 daughters visible in photos. Public post from last month. How can a man own 5 houses but claim he can't feed his children? Ngozi Okoro Surulere. 2 children. Post from 6 months ago. Court ordered N12 million in back child support. Still unpaid, while he buys new Range Rovers. Ngozi screenshot everything. Bank transfer records Chief Okafor had posted by accident, bragging about an N8 million car purchase, the same week his court date for child support default. Birth certificates. Court summons, all public records just buried under layers of wealth and power. She compiled the evidence. Created an anonymous email. Justice for Lagos Children a Proton Mail.com. Sent it to Lagos T-Spills, the gossip blog everyone read but nobody admitted reading. Subject line, Chief Okafor, family man or family fraud. The blog editor received hundreds of tips daily. But this one had documentation. Real bank statements, court records, photos, names, dates. They published within 24 hours. The blog post went viral. Chief Okafor exposed trended. Screenshots spread across Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp groups. The 3 women came forward publicly. Blessing Adeola did a video interview. He told me he was single. Got me pregnant. Promised to marry me. Then disappeared when the babies came. Now he wants a 4th wife while my sons eat once a day? Evidence was irrefutable. Birth certificates listed him as father. Court documents showed N12 million in unpaid child support. Bank statements proved he had money but chose not to pay. Mrs. Nwosu saw the blog at midnight. Read it 3 times. Hands shaking, Emeka tried damage control. It's lies, Mama. Jealous women trying to destroy a successful man. There are court documents. Emeka, court documents. Fake news. Photoshop. We live in a world of fake news. But doubt crept in. Mrs. Nwosu called Chief Okafor. He didn't answer. She called 6 more times, voicemail. By morning, he sent a text. Those women lied to trap me. I'll sue them for defamation. Don't worry. Gala proceeds as planned. Mrs. Nwosu wanted to believe him. Had to believe him. Because cancelling the engagement now, days before the gala, after public Instagram announcements, would be social suicide. She made her choice. Deny everything. Proceed with the wedding plan. Control the narrative. We're ignoring the blog, she announced at breakfast. Chief Okafor explained everything. Jealous women spreading lies. Amara stared at her mother. You don't actually believe that. I believe in moving forward. You believe in saving face. That afternoon, Amara packed a bag, passport, medical license, N50,000 saved from hospital shifts, enough to get to her aunt in Enugu, She'd disappear. Start over. Never come back. She was mid-packing when her burner phone buzzed. Chaiki calling. Don't run. How did you know? Because I know you. And I know what it feels like to want to escape. I can't marry him. I'd rather lose everything. You won't marry him. Trust me, 4 more days, and that's what you keep saying. 4 days, then 3 days, then 2. When does this end? Saturday. At the gala. I promise. I need more than promises. I need hope. Chaik sent a photo via encrypted message. 1 photo. That was all. The image appeared on Amara's screen. Presidential Villa Abuja. Chike in a tuxedo that probably cost N2 million. Name tag, Chike Okonkwo, CEO Afritech Solutions. Behind him, Africa's top 10 tech innovators under 40. In the photo, he was shaking hands with the president. In his other hand, barely visible, a white handkerchief. Their white handkerchief. The one her mother threw in the mud. Caption, I kept my promise to clean it. 4 more days until everyone sees. Amara stared at the photo for 10 minutes. She unpacked her bag. Friday, 24 hours before the gala. The Nwosu estate transformed into a golden wonderland. Workers installed 500 chairs. Sound system tested. Red carpet rolled out. Security briefed. Mrs. Nwosu supervised everything. Her masterpiece. Her vindication. Tomorrow she'd announce her daughter's engagement to Chief Okafor. 500 witnesses. Lagos elite. Senators, celebrities, undeniable. Across town, Chike stood in his Victoria Island penthouse. 32nd floor. Panoramic Lagos view. His assistant Yemi arrived with the gold agbada, custom-made by Nike Davies Okundai, Nigeria's most famous textile artist. Cost N2.5 million. Eagles embroidered in gold thread. Symbol of power, vision, height. Car ready? Chike asked. Rolls-Royce Phantom. Delivered this morning. Security detail briefed. Projector installed at venue. We bribed the AV Tech $500,000. USB drive ready with all evidence files. Chief Okafor evidence? Bank statements, birth certificates, court documents, testimony from 3 women. Irrefutable. Mrs. Nwosu's background? Ajagunle poverty records confirmed. Photos from 1985 showing her selling oranges. Marriage records showing her husband's family initial rejection. Full story ready. Chike walked to his dresser, opened the top drawer. The white handkerchief lay there perfectly clean now. 3 months of careful washing had removed every stain. The fabric glowed pure white again. He held it up to the window. Lagos sunset painted the sky orange and purple. Tomorrow truth would shine just as bright. When I walk through those doors tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., everything changes, he said quietly. Not just for Mrs. Nwosu, for everyone who's ever been judged by appearance. Every person dismissed because they didn't look wealthy enough, educated enough, powerful enough. He folded the handkerchief carefully, placed it in the pocket over his heart. The sun set over Lagos. 2 worlds existed in that moment, Mrs. Nwosu believing her triumph was hours away, and Chike knowing her reckoning was inevitable. When those golden gates opened at 8:30 p.m., when 500 people turned to see what walked through, when the truth no one expected shattered the lies everyone believed, nothing would ever be the same again. Saturday evening. 7:00 p.m., the Hearts for Orphans. Gala unfolded under a canopy of gold light strung across the Nwosu estate lawn. 500 guests arrived in Mercedes, BMWs, and armored SUVs. Red carpet rolled from the Golden Gates to the stage. Paparazzi flashed. Lagos elite mingled with champagne flutes in hand. Mrs. Adaize Nwosu stood at the entrance like royalty. N500,000 gold gown hugging her figure. Diamond necklace worth N3 million sparkling under spotlights. This was her night. Her vindication after the blog scandal. Proof that wealth and status conquered all. Welcome, Governor. Senator. So glad you could make it. Her smile never wavered. Inside, nerves twisted. Chief Okafor's child support expose still buzzed on social media. But tonight, she'd bury it under glamour and announcements. The program began at 7:30 p.m. Celebrity host AY took the stage, microphone in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most glittering Hearts for Orphans gala yet. Tonight we celebrate compassion, community, and, let's be honest, Lagos's finest fashion. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Tables of 10-seated power players, bankers in tuxedos, Nollywood stars in sequins, philanthropists with fat checkbooks. Center stage, Mrs. Nwosu's family table. Amara in her N1.2 million gold-beaded gown, forced smile masking despair. Emeka scrolling Instagram, ignoring the trending scandal. Ngozi, 16 and sharp-eyed, watching everything. AY continued. Our fundraising goal N50 million. But thanks to that mysterious N100 million anonymous donation, we're already ahead. Who is this generous friend of grace? Come on, reveal yourself! Applause thundered. Mrs. Nwosu stood, waved graciously. She believed the donation validated her world, wealthy saviors fixing the poor's problems from afar. PM. AY handed the microphone to Mrs. Nwosu. Spotlights bathed her in gold. 500 faces turned expectant. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight isn't just about orphans. It's about family. About building legacies that last. She paused dramatically. I'm thrilled to announce that my daughter, Dr. Amara Nwosu, the brilliant surgeon who saves lives daily, will marry Chief Okafor, CEO of Okafor Construction. Gasps, applause, cameras flashed. Chief Okafor rose from the family table, agbada flowing, N2 million gold chain gleaming. He took the stage, pulled Amara up beside him. She moved like a puppet, strings pulled by expectation. Amara will be my third wife, Chief Okafor boomed. A doctor in the family elevates us all. We'll build hospitals together. East wing of my Abuja mansion waiting. Laughter from some tables. Murmurs from others, the blog expose fresh in minds. But Mrs. Nwosu beamed. Emeka posted live to Instagram. Amara's hand trembled in Chief Okafor's grip. Ngozi texted under the table. Hang on. Something's coming, the crowd toasted. Champagne glasses clinked. Mrs. Nwosu's triumph peaked, until the golden gates creaked open at exactly 8:30 p.m. A hush fell as a Rolls-Royce Phantom glided through the gates. Plaque polished to mirror shine. License plate, Afri 1. Security parted the crowd. The driver emerged, Tunde, Amara's patient now in crisp suit. Then Chiki stepped out, no grease-stained hands, no worn shirt. A custom gold agbada by Nike Davies Okundaye. N2.5 million worth of embroidered eagles soaring across fabric. Gold cufflinks. Italian loafers. Hairstyled, beard trimmed. The man who'd knelt in mud 3 months ago now radiated quiet power. Gasps echoed. Whispers exploded. Who is that? Looks familiar. Is that the mechanic? Mrs. Nwosu's champagne flute slipped from her fingers. Shattered on marble tiles, Chief Okafor's face paled. Amara's eyes widened, hope igniting. Chaik walked the red carpet unhurried. Photographers swarmed. He nodded to guests, shook hands with the governor. Reached the stage steps. Tai, sensing drama, grabbed the mic. And who might you be, sir? Joining us fashionably late? Chike Okonkwo, he said simply. Voice calm, carrying to every corner. CEO of Afritech Solutions. The name hit like thunder. 500 phones lit up, Googling frantically. Forbes articles, tech summits, presidential handshakes, the N2.3 billion empire hidden behind a Toyota. Mrs. Nwosu staggered. Impossible. Chaik took the stage. AY handed him the microphone. Silence absolute. 3 months ago I stood at these very gates. He pulled the white handkerchief from his agbada pocket, held it up, pristine, glowing under lights. Wrapped in this cloth coconut, palm wine, alligator pepper. Total value N15,000. Modest but sincere, murmurs grew. Emeka stood furious. Security! Remove this fraud. Chiki continued, voice steady. Mrs. Nwosu threw this handkerchief in the gutter. Called me a mechanic, a gold digger. Said I wasn't worthy of her daughter. Cameras rolled. Live streams captured every word. I let her believe that, because true character reveals itself under test. Amara saw the man behind the clothes, the one who values compassion over cash. She saved my driver's life without asking for insurance. Walked beaches with me barefoot. Gave me her grandmother's bracelet because she saw my heart. Amara rose, tears streaming. Joined him on stage. The crowd watched, transfixed. Your mother? Your brother? They saw poverty and judged. But tonight truth shines brighter than gold, Chucky signaled. The AV tech switched projectors. The gala screen flickered to life. Not fundraising slides, evidence. First, Chief Okafor's face enlarged. Bank statement scrolled. N8 million Range Rover purchase. Same month, N0 child support paid, Chief Okafor, Chiki said. 3 families. 7 children abandoned. N12 million owed in court-ordered support. While he buys luxury for himself, Chief Okafor bolted for the exit. Security, now Cheek's detail, blocked him. The 3 women appeared on screen via video link. Blessing, Kioma, Ngozi Okoro. Testimonies raw, tearful. He promised marriage. Left me with nothing. My daughters eat Gary while he builds mansions. Same name as my sister. Ironic, isn't it? The crowd erupted, boos, shouts. Senator Akpabio stood. Arrest him! Governor nodded gravely. Screen shifted. Mrs. Nwosu's passed. 1985 photos. Young Daisy selling oranges barefoot in Ajagunle market. Marriage rejection by her husband's wealthy family. You grew up poor, Mrs. Nwosu, Chiki said gently. Rejected for your background. Now you reject others for theirs. History repeats when we let fear rule. She collapsed into her chair. Sobs racked her frame. Ayamika tried pulling her up. Cameras caught his panic. The anonymous donation revealed AO Holdings. My company. 100 million in memory of my mother, Grace Okonkwo. She died at 43 from treatable malaria because her family valued wealth over her life. Like you valued status over your daughter's happiness. 500 witnesses saw it all. Phones recorded. Social media exploded worldwide. Amara took the microphone, voice steady despite tears. Mama, I love you. But love isn't a transaction. Chiki tested us, not to hurt, but to heal. He saw my heart. You saw his clothes, Mrs. Nwosu looked up, ruined. I was scared. For you. Like they were scared for me. Fear blinded you. But truth frees us. Amara extended her hand. Chiki placed the white handkerchief in her palm. Symbol restored. The crowd applauded. Not for scandal. For redemption's possibility. Chief Okafor dragged away by police. Mrs. Nwosu stood slowly, walked to her daughter, hugged her first time in months. Forgive me. Always, Mama. But change starts now. If this twist hit you hard, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that expose the heart behind the wealth. Comment your thoughts below. What would you do in Amara's shoes? The gala dissolved into chaos and clarity. Guests lingered, whispering. Paparazzi swarmed the gates. Chief Okafor's arrest dominated news. Inside the Nwosu parlor, Mrs. Adaisi sat shattered. Amara knelt beside her. Chiki stood back, giving space. I was wrong, Mrs. Nwosu whispered. So wrong. I became the monster that rejected me. You were scared, Mama, but fear isn't forever. Amara held her hand. Cheek's mother died because pride killed compassion. Don't let that be your legacy. Emeka paced, phone blowing up. My Instagram's ruined. Sponsors dropping me. You built that on lies, Ngozi said sharply. Time to rebuild on truth. Chiki spoke gently. Emeka, I own the Surulere Auto Mall you vandalized. N2.3 billion annual revenue. But I let you act because anger blinds us all. Learn from this, Emeka stopped, stared. You own it? Yes, and I forgive the damage. But forgiveness requires change. By 2 a.m. the family talked, really talked. Mrs. Nwosu shared her Ajagunle stories, barefoot hunger, family rejection. I swore you'd never know that pain. But I created worse, emotional prison. Healing began there, raw, real, 3 months later. The Hearts for Orphans Fund transformed. No more N8 million galas. Chaiki's N100 million seed money redirected. Actual orphanages built in Ajagunle. 5 new schools. Medical clinics stocked. No gold balloons, just changed lives. Mrs. Nwosu volunteered weekly. Washed floors. Served meals. I was the poor girl once, she told wide-eyed children. Money doesn't save you. Kindness does. Emeka started a youth program, anti-bullying, inspired by his shame. Ngozi got a scholarship to study journalism. Truth-tellers change the world, Chaik told her. Amara returned to the hospital, stronger. Her colleagues apologized. We judged too quick, Dr. Adebayo said. Lesson learned. 6 months after the gala. Traditional Igbo wedding at the Nwosu estate. This time gates wide open. No judgments, Colonut presented properly. N5 million bride price. Chiki donated it to orphans. Instead, community gifts, books, uniforms, hope. Mrs. Nwosu walked Amara down the aisle. White gown, no gold beads. Simple, pure. Elder Ease officiated, walking stick-tapping rhythm. Patience is the key to paradise, he said. And love tests us to make us stronger. Vows exchanged under kola tree. 500 guests again, but real ones. Orphans-sponsored, hospital staff, auto shop workers. Tundi the driver, best man. You saved me twice, he told Amara. The white handkerchief? Tied as a garter. Symbol of stains washed clean. Reception, no champagne towers. Local drummers. Suya stations. Laughter filled the air. Free, unforced. 1 year later, Mrs. Nwosu's estate hosted Ajagunle family reunion. Former market girls like her, now grandmothers, shared stories. No gold gates, just open hearts. I rejected a good man once, she told them. Feared poverty more than I loved my daughter. But truth set us free. Chaik's AfriTech expanded. Tech training for Ajagunle youth. Amika-coded apps, redeeming his past. Gozi's blog exposed real injustices. The N100 million, multiplied. Orphan fund hit N500 million. Schools named after Grace Okonkwo. Clinics after Amara's compassion. Mrs. Nwosu visited Grace's grave with Chika, placed flowers. I'm sorry for what my pride cost. But thank you for raising a son who taught me mercy. Cheek and Amara's home, modern Victoria Island villa. But weekends, Sariliri auto shop visits. Hands dirty again, by choice. The white handkerchief framed on their wall. Inscribed, stains fade, truth endures. Elder Easy visited often. Your mother would be proud, he'd say. She taught you well. Lagos whispered their story. Not scandal, inspiration. Billionaire who tested with poverty. Family that learned from humiliation. Love that conquered pride. In Nigeria's bustling heart, one truth rang clear: wealth builds walls. But compassion tears them down. If this tale moved you, from mud-stained gates to open hearts, remember, never judge by appearances. Test your own heart. What would you choose, gold or grace? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share your story below. More African folk tales coming. Truths that heal.